Hi guys, it's Jamie here, and I've decided to take part in the Dephemerember challenge. I'm not going to say that too often, I'm really not. Which started on the 1st of December. I do realise it's late night on the 7th, so I am a little behind, but I have just completed day 1 of the challenge, which was to use a playing card and ribbon to create some ephemera for a junk journal, with the idea that I'm doing my mum a boho Indian Raj, because she's biracial Anglo-Indian, journal for her 75th at the beginning of January. I decided to interpret it so that I could create some ephemera for that journal. Using Magpie Printables Peacock Kit, I have altered these playing cards into peacock glittery journaling cards. However, I didn't want to add ribbon to these, so I decided to create these little envelopes from what were lunch money envelopes with some Indian sari style ribbon trim, and these do actually fit, just to show you, playing cards, so they are perfect pockets. These will actually now be scattered throughout Mum's journal and stuck to the page with these inside. Before we go back in time to how all of this came together, the techniques and products I used, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up because it helps others see it. Subscribe to this channel if you've not already, because I upload 3 to 5 times a week. And leave me a comment down below as to what you think of this or any of the other videos. And a quick reminder, I still have a competition running. It's current until the 31st of December. That link will also be in the description of this video. Now let's go back in time. I'm going to alter my playing cards is to take my gesso, my white gesso. What I'm going to do is, I'm not going to cover them very much because I want you to still see it's a playing card, but I want to dull it down a little bit. And this also, just doing a very light layer, will help it dry quicker as well. Really, it is just get some of these dulled down while they dry. Something I mentioned on my last video that I was going to show you, but then I only used sticker paper, so I couldn't show you. When you've cut out ephemera from a printable or a book, you can end up with white edges, and one way to overcome that, if you don't want to just distress ink around the whole image, is to actually distress on the back with, say, a black ink pad, because it will take the edge off any white at the front. So it's just going round the edge of your printables on the reverse. I will do that. These will dry. I will be back in a minute. I just wanted to show you that little tip. I don't know if you can tell the difference between where it's been done and where it's not been done. You can see a slight difference, I think. These are now just about dry enough to play with. I've got some distress inks here. We're sticking with the peacock theme, so I've got Wilted Violet, Stormy Sky, Salty Ocean, and Salvage Patina. I'm hoping, I don't have that many distress inks, I'm hoping these will be okay. I am going to pre-wet one of these cards with a little water, get a bit on here and just dab it over. I'm not sure what this is going to do, if anything. To be fair, I'm going to use this colour a bit more. Then I'm going to go in with Salvage Patina. I'll use a different part of this sponge. And now, because that has left marks, I want to do that and get it to all kind of merge together a little bit. And tap that off a bit. It's kind of come off too much now. Let's pick it up again. See if we can get it to stay Maybe slightly too much water that time. I'm not very good with distressings. I really am trying my best to learn how to use them. Right, let's try it dry so it goes on stronger to begin with. Yeah, I quite like that actually. Right, we're not going to bother with the water aspect then. That has been decided. We're just going to go with those colours onto dry, and when that's dry we'll redo that one. What are we going to do next? I think next I want to distress ink the edges with Vintage Photo, and something I did on one of the Christmas journals recently which I really loved was not just doing one colour as the distress ink but doing a second colour, and I used this Victorian velvet as the second colour. I'm going to see what it's going to look like on these. See how you get like a pinky brown? So pretty. There we go. I look like a professional painter without being a professional painter. I love it. Okay, that's probably the best result I've ever had with a distress oxide, to be honest. Maybe I am getting the hang of them. Less water, definitely. I think the next stage for me is actually going to be to glue these onto the cards, and then trim them up and then do a treatment or something over the top of these. So to glue them on, I will use, rather expensively and unnecessarily, my Fabri-Tac, because I just love it as a glue, to be fair. What I tend to do, and this is why I get very messy, is I smear things with my finger. And then I think with this one, I'm obviously going to go that way because that's how I've already put the glue on. So that was a decision made for me. Something I'm just very quickly doing is testing whether I want to change the backgrounds of these printables with some of the distress inks and kind of merge it a bit more. See if that kind of merges everything together a bit more, or whether it's better to leave it standing out. So these are, that's fully patterned up, that's a little bit, and that's nothing at all. I think I like it with the background coming in with the same colours. Where we've been working on this, I am now re-edging it with the two inks to bring them back into prominence. And all I'm going to do is, so these can be like little journaling cards, is I'm going to back them with some coffee stained paper. I feel they're a little dull. They're going into a very glitzy glam journal full of Indian sparkle, and these seem quite flat. Got out some gold leafy foil stuff, and we're just going to throw the Mod Podge down carefully because it will shift the distress inks. Don't want to smudge it too much. I'm just going to take some of this and pop it down and then brush it off. I don't want too much of it, and it's really glittery and really quite glam. I think you can still see it's an altered playing card, just. Right, I'm going to whack over one more layer of Mod Podge just to kind of seal down all of that. And like I say, if necessary, I'll put a clear coat of acrylic over it when it's dry. Let's try and avoid the peacock a little bit until we do the top layer. Obviously, with that one being quite gold now, we can't not put a decent amount on. Let's just get a little bit actually on the finger and rub it on. So a little bit, of course I've put loads on there. So pretty. Right, top coat that. Absolutely random results, but quite stunning. I've decided a way I can use ribbon in this challenge is to use these little lunch money envelopes as pockets for the peacock cards, which are now backed. I still might seal those, but just leaving them for the time being. I've been thinking about how to decorate them. I don't want to decorate them exactly the same, obviously, because why would I do such a simple thing as that? Quickly cover every envelope with the gesso. We're going to, I've just dried that off with the heat gun. Grab the colours that we were using on the cards and add them as background to these envelopes. Almost completely changed the look of those, however we've not finished yet. The next thing I want to do is to get this mandala stencil and some gold acrylic paint, and then something to apply that with. So something like this. May have put out slightly too much of this, but never mind. Right, let's hold that in place and hope that this goes through the stencil and creates a nice gold boho pattern. Woohoo! Look at that, guys. Before we do any more to any of this, I want to put on a gloss varnish. That will seal everything in and also give it a nice shiny coat. Now I know normally in junk journaling we're not looking for shiny, but because this is boho and it's Indian themed, we do want shiny. I'm hoping you can see this, that it's not a super high shine, but there is now a shine to these envelopes and everything is protected. The stickiness that might be in some places can take up to 72 hours of dry time. However, all I have to do is one more thing, which is to take some of this very, very beautiful ribbon and potentially, because the challenge was to use some ribbon, put, yeah, that central strip looks quite nice, doesn't it? You could either do it there where the pocket is or centrally. I'm thinking centrally, and to do that I'm going to use the Fabri-Tac. Just going to run it along the seam bits, smidge it slightly that way because I don't want it going over the envelope, and then roughly centrally placed and hold it while it takes. It dries pretty quickly, so it won't take that long to adhere, and then you can cut and do the next ones. I decided to do each one slightly differently with a different ribbon, 2 going vertically, 2 going horizontally, because they're going to be scattered throughout the journal anyway. They're not going to be next to each other, so they don't have to be uniform. Then we've got the little cards that are going to go inside them when they're fully dry, non-sticky. If you don't have gloss varnish, do not worry, hairspray will do the same thing. Good dose of hairspray over the top. A bit like the video in the playlist when I used the mica powder and I finished it and sealed it with hairspray. That is day 1 of Dephemerember. I don't know how to pronounce it. Anyway, day 1 done. Thank you for your time. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It helps others see it. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, I have to ask why not. I upload at least 3 times a week, normally around 5, with lots of different junk journaling, modern day planning, art journaling, ephemera making, short projects, a variety of different topics each week, and let me know what you think of how I interpreted the challenge and converted these to these in the comments below. I will see you next time.